Welcome to another exciting episode of Howard's Opinion. I'm your host, Howard, and I'm thrilled to have you joining me today as we dive into the world of sports. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you, and it all starts with a celebration, 30 years of Major League Soccer. Can you believe it's been 3 decades since MLS first kicked off? It's incredible to think about how far the league has come, from its humble beginnings to the global phenomenon it is today. And what a story it is, from the early days of DC United's dominance to the current crop of superstars like Lionel Messi, who's now taking the league by storm with Inter Miami. I mean, who would have thought that the soccer GOAT himself would be playing in the MLS? It's a testament to the league's growth and appeal that it can attract talent like Messi, not to mention other global icons like Thierry Henry, Kaká, and David Villa, who've all donned the jerseys of various MLS teams over the years. And let's not forget about the Seattle Sounders, who made their stunning debut in 2009 and showed us what top-tier club soccer can look like in the United States. Their success paved the way for other teams to follow suit, and now we have a league that's more competitive than ever. Of course, there have been plenty of milestones along the way, like the introduction of the designated player rule, which allowed teams to sign big-name players and change the face of the league. And who can forget about the CONCACAF Champions League, where MLS teams have had their fair share of struggles, but finally, in 2022, the Seattle Sounders brought home the title. And now, with the Apple TV deal, fans around the world can watch every game, which is a game-changer for the league. It's an exciting time to be an MLS fan, and we're just getting started. We'll be discussing more about the history of MLS, its current state, and what the future holds, so stay tuned. We've got some fantastic guests lined up to share their insights and opinions, and I know you won't want to miss it. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a fascinating conversation about all things MLS. We'll be right back with more fascinating sports news on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion, folks. We're diving into the world of college football, where the Nebraska Cornhuskers took a tough loss against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. The final score was 24-6, and let me tell you, it was a dismal night for the Huskers. Nebraska's quarterback, Dylan Raiola, was sacked an astonishing 9 times, which made it nearly impossible for their offense to get anything going. Meanwhile, Minnesota's Darius Taylor had a field day, rushing for 148 yards and 1 touchdown on 24 carries. The Golden Gophers' Drake Lindsay also had a stellar game, completing 16 of his 20 passes with 1 touchdown. The Huskers' struggles were evident throughout the night, as they managed to score on only 2 of their first 4 drives. Despite a solid start, they just couldn't keep pace with Minnesota's relentless pressure. The Golden Gophers' big plays, including a 71-yard run from Taylor and a 35-yard strike to Jalen Smith, sealed the deal for Nebraska. It's clear that the Huskers have some work to do if they want to bounce back from this loss. They'll be hosting Northwestern next Saturday, so we'll see how they respond. For now, it's back to the drawing board for Coach Rule and his team. The social media reaction to this game was pretty intense, with many fans expressing their disappointment and frustration. Some are even calling for changes to be made within the team. It'll be interesting to see how the Huskers regroup and move forward from here. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion, folks. As we wrap up today's discussion on the fascinating world of college football, I'd like to shift our attention to a remarkable young quarterback who's been making waves in the SEC. Trinidad Chambliss, the Ole Miss sensation, has been turning heads with his impressive performances on the field, and I'm excited to delve into his story. Now, you might be wondering, where did this talented athlete come from? Well, let me tell you, Chambliss hails from Grand Rapids, Michigan, a city that boasts a rich athletic tradition. His parents, Trent and Cheryl Chambliss, instilled in him a strong sense of faith and values, which is reflected in his name, Trinidad, meaning Trinity. It's a beautiful story, folks, and one that highlights the importance of family and community in shaping our young athletes. As we explore Chambliss's high school career, it becomes clear that he was destined for greatness. Playing for Forest Hills Northern, he threw for an impressive 1,610 yards, with 17 touchdowns in just 7 games during his senior season. His coach, Eddie Ostapau, praised him as a dual-threat quarterback with exceptional athletic ability and a strong arm. But what's equally impressive is that Chambliss didn't limit himself to just football. He also excelled in basketball and baseball, leading his team to the state semifinals in basketball and earning all-state honors. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, how did this talented young man end up at Ole Miss? Well, it's an interesting story. Despite his impressive high school stats, Chambliss didn't receive a plethora of recruiting offers, partly due to the COVID-19 restrictions on face-to-face visits. However, he did receive offers from several smaller colleges, including Butler, Dayton, and Valparaiso. It wasn't until he started his college football career at Ferris State that he began to gain recognition, eventually transferring to Ole Miss and becoming the starter. Folks, Trinidad Chambliss's story is a testament to perseverance, hard work, and dedication. He's an inspiration to young athletes everywhere, proof that with talent, grit, and determination, you can achieve greatness regardless of your background or circumstances. As we close out today's show, I want to leave you with a thought. In a world where college football is often dominated by powerhouse programs and 5-star recruits, it's refreshing to see an underdog like Chambliss rise to the top. That's all for today's Howard's Opinion. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, these are some of my humble thoughts. Keep on thinking, folks.